watching Glitter Gel Pen.
A lifelong, one-sided conversation of us consuming every pop culture podcast ever. Glitter Gel Pen has joined the chat.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
Episode 34. I'm Jill.
And I'm Melissa.
And before we get started, if you don't want to get angry text messages from Justin Bieber, then you better hit the subscribe button.
Honestly, if he wanted to angry text me, I'd let him.
So, before we get into all the Justin Bieber juicy drama, we need to talk about some more juicy drama. And that is that headlines have come out about the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
Yeah.
About how they had to remove Taylor Swift pictures when Olivia Rodrigo came. But how do we know this, Alyssa?
Well,
this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you're a busy mom like me, you know how hard it is to find time for yourself, let alone take care of your mental health. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to without any shame, fear, or judgment. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp makes it so much easier. While therapy can be costly and a big reason why some people don't get the help that they need, there are affordable options available when you use a platform such as BetterHelp. It's an online platform that connects you with licensed therapists. I filled out a quick questionnaire about my mental health history, and BetterHelp matched me with a therapist in less than 24 hours. They carefully vet their therapists, and their customer support team is always there if you have any questions. And if you decide that your first therapist isn't right for you, you can switch easily with no awkwardness or stress. I love how flexible it is and that you can get therapy from the comfort of your own home. You can message your therapist at any time. There's a built-in journal for personal reflection, and they even offer group sessions on a variety of topics. Plus, with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot, it's a service you can trust. If you're ready to take the first step, go to betterhelp.com/glittergelpen or click the link in our description to get 10% off your first month.
the swiftologist, they've been on their tour for Evolution of a Snake, and Evolution of a Snake put out their tour vlog where they went and they were invited by the Bluebird Cafe to do we know so much. They were invited by the Bluebird Cafe to do a photo shoot there because it's kind of hard to get into because it's so popular. Mm-hmm. Well, they invited them and they got like a personal tour from one of the managers or something that worked there.
Yeah.
And in the tour, they were like showing off the Bluebird Cafe, and Zach simply asked the guy who worked there, he was like, so you told us that whenever Olivia Rodrigo performed and filmed something here, they had to remove the photo of Taylor Swift from the building. And the guy simply said yes and agreed. It was definitely like a little kiki moment. You could tell what Zach was doing with it in a way.
And you saw Olivia Rodrigo, did you not?
Olivia did
She was
come
right
here.
there. She was right there.
In 2023, right before Guts, she came here and played Making the Bed, Vampire, Lacey.
And what happened before she started playing? What did you guys do? What was the amendment that you made?
We vowed to remove any visible signs of Taylor Swift.
In the Bluebird Cafe. It's that serious. It's that
We
serious.
respect the girlies.
We respect everyone in their need to have a crown.
Yeah, and the guy kind of knew too. I think the guy was a Swiftie, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he probably knew the beef and knew that it was a thing and that it would be like a hee-hee type whatever.
We have a video on our channel like breaking down the entire Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo beef.
Yes.
It's like unspoken but present, and this was like the biggest confirmation there's ever been that beef is a real thing.
Yeah, and that was kind of like our pearls were clutched, you know?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, they like admitted that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like I saw it and I immediately was like, oh, this should probably be a thing. Like this should be a headline of some sort somewhere, but I didn't know that it was going to be like such a big deal. You know?
It's cool that like I feel like we know the people that this news like originated from in a way, because it's like he's a smaller YouTube channel. But the interesting thing was the Bluebird Cafe she wasn't the owner, COO and one of the managers. She made like a public statement saying that they support all artists. They only removed the photo of Taylor Swift because they didn't own the rights to the photo.
And so they couldn't record something if there was a copyright photo in the back.
But you will see that none of the other photos that they also did not own the rights to were not removed. So if I had to guess, what do you think the reasoning behind removing that is?
Honestly, okay, I think Olivia and her team know that this is a hot topic of people say that me and Taylor aren't good and that we have beef. And so I think when she was recording a performance of her, they did want to remove the Taylor picture to not be there so that people couldn't do their weird internet thing and troll or talk about how she had to perform with a picture of Taylor even though they don't like each other and like have a bunch of conversation around that, you know?
Yeah. My theory is about when Olivia Rodrigo was blowing up, like she referred to Taylor Swift a lot as like an inspiration. She's obviously of the age that grew up with her, like inspiring her like songwriting, and like Olivia is like really the only other like songwriter pop girly that's not just like a pop girl to be a pop star. She's really like lyrically
Driven.
Yeah. And it obviously comes from Taylor Swift. Like you can hear it all over her music, but whenever there was too much like reference to Taylor Swift in her songs, Taylor Swift went after her for owning parts of her, bigger songs or like Deja Vu.
What if she like didn't want, well, that would fall on the Bluebird. I was going to say, what if she didn't want a picture in there because she didn't want to get sued again?
She could have not wanted to get sued. I also could see like just her team being protective over her image of trying to be Taylor Swift and trying to personify yourself as the next Taylor Swift, because the Bluebird is like Taylor Swift's home. That's where she was discovered. So I could see that being the reasoning. Or like the other idea is, if I looked up to Taylor Swift my whole life and she like took my songwriting credit for me that had nothing to do with Cruel Summer or whatever it was, I would probably be kind of bitter.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I could also see her not wanting her to be
in her moment, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. But it's just crazy. Like the COO, I could tell, she's on camera being like professional, keeping it professional. But I can tell just from the way she's talking and stuff that behind the scenes, she is like livid.
Good morning, friends. This is Erica Wallen-Nichols. I'm the general manager and COO of Nashville's Bluebird Cafe. And I was reaching out today to bring some truth to some questions and discussion that have been put out on the internet. So, we did have a filming with Olivia Rodrigo here. Olivia's people did not ask us to remove an image of Taylor Swift. Nobody did. We removed an image of Taylor Swift that was in a position where the filming was taking place. When we have filmings, we are required legally to remove images that are under copyright. We don't own those images, so we cannot give permission for those images to be used in any kind of broadcast. That's the sole reason that photograph was removed from the place it stood. Our employee, who spoke out of turn about this, did not understand why that image was removed. He spoke carelessly and haphazardly about it, maybe trying to be funny, I don't know. But irregardless, that image was removed for legal reasons. All of the images of Taylor in the room remain, except that one was removed for the broadcast. Her headshot is there. Her chair still stands strong. Other images in the room also had to be removed. So please understand, this was not anything between two artists. We support all songwriters, all artists, and give them equal share. Taylor is a super friend of the Bluebird, and we have her in the highest esteem. We were honored to have Olivia here, and please know they both live extremely high in our regard. So I just wanted to clear that up. Please do not get upset with any of this. It was a mistake on the part of the employee, and I'm here to clear that up with you so you know that this was something that we were just required to do for legal reasons. Thank you so much for listening. Please know that we at the Bluebird Cafe support Taylor, we support Olivia, and we're grateful for your support. Thank you.
Because they have to also be on top of their game to do like damage control for this because, Taylor Swift, they don't want to lose that good connection with her. And so they don't want to see all this go down and have drama for Taylor over the Bluebird. And so I could just imagine that she's like pissed. And so I hope that the guy doesn't lose his job.
Yeah, I could also, there had to be documents signed, like NDAs and things, whenever Olivia Rodrigo came in there to perform. Like, there's no way that they didn't make the people or the Bluebird, on behalf of the Bluebird, like sign something saying you can't disclose to anyone about any of this that's happening, just to keep things under wraps too. Like, I could see the Bluebird maybe possibly getting in trouble for leaking that information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, it only looks bad on Olivia's team.
Mm-hmm. But it's also like, I could see it just looking unprofessional to Taylor and her team, because it's like drawing up more controversy and drama that involves Taylor. And I'm sure at this time, especially with all the Blake Lively drama and stuff, they don't want more talk about Taylor in like weird drama light, you know?
Yeah. I'm laughing because I feel like we're like cat dog on the couch. You know how they would like share that blanket and cover up their like.
They shared a body.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, I feel like the Bluebird is obviously iconic because it's in Nashville and it's been there forever. But it's not as iconic without Taylor Swift. So taking her out is almost like a. Would Olivia Rodrigo be performing here if Taylor Swift didn't perform here?
No.
So, I don't know.
And that's why they're working hard to fix it, to make sure that it doesn't look unprofessional on their part and that they still have a good standing with Taylor.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'll keep y'all updated because I'm in the Patreon for the evolution of a snake to see if
I want to see what he says.
I want to know. He has to speak about it. But I also want to hear from the guy that works there.
I want to know his thoughts.
Did he get fired?
Did you get fired? Were you mad at Zach? Did you have some words with Zach afterwards? Like, did you message him and be like, why would you put that in the vlog?
Yeah, and Evolution of a Snake is not getting invited back to the Bluebird Cafe.
No, they are canceled from the Bluebird.
Yeah, they're
glad they got a photo shoot because that's the only time they're going to be allowed in there ever again.
For real.
So now, do we want to get into the juicy Justin Bieber topics for this week?
It's another week of me feeling bad for Justin Bieber.
Yeah, we should start with the paparazzi reaction.
Okay.
This is like honestly iconic to me.
I'm a dad, I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
We're on the sidewalk, Justin.
I don't give a f if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human being. You're standing around my car. At the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real guy, do you? You're gonna take this video out of context. You're gonna say I'm mad. I don't know who the f paying you to provoke me, but I'm not the one. Okay? Stop provoking me. I'm a real dad, a real husband, a real man.
All right,
so don't do this to me. Okay?
All right, cool.
I'm not to be with. I don't know who's paying you to with me or provoke me, but I'm not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk. I don't care what kind of dirty work, what kind of nasty you're getting paid in the background to provoke me, bro, but I'm not the one. I'm really not the one. I don't care that you're on the sidewalk, bro. Clearly you're here for an alternate agenda. Why would you want to be here to provoke me like this? This isn't love.
You're not provoking, Justin.
This isn't love, bro. This is weird, bro. Y'all are on some real weird shit. Literally.
All right, have a good night, Justin.
Okay, then go then have a good night somewhere else, man, for real.
All right,
because
cool.
I'm not going to stand around here and let this happen. No sir. No way. No how.
All right, cool.
This is the beach.
You guys
People
have
get to
room
be
too.
at the beach. They do. They do. They get to be at the beach.
Okay, so I feel very many things when I watch this, right? Like, first off, I agree with everything he's saying. I'm like, yeah, paparazzi are weird. Yeah, they need to leave him alone. Everything he's saying is true. Second of all, in the weirdest way, while this is like sad because this is a person's real life, this is kind of iconic and a flex, and I love it. Like, it makes me laugh like every time. And when he says, it's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, that's my favorite. I'm using that line all the time now. It's my favorite. I'm like, he is the inventor of the immediately no. And I'm like, this is a new one, you know? How everybody was like, immediately no.
Yeah.
Now, it's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. I love it.
Okay. There's some lore that he touched on in this video. Are you familiar? I don't remember what all we've talked about. I've watched so many Justin Bieber videos since we've been doing some deep dives and stuff. This girl that grew up with Justin Bieber created a video. She was involved in his group in Atlanta where they were giving him vocal lessons and teaching him how to sing. Well, she came out with this video with Justin's best interest in mind, and as someone who grew up with him, and the group that she was a part of and Justin was a part of, they're still in contact with him. So she said that allegedly these paparazzi are being paid by Scooter Braun to make Justin look crazy, and they're being leaked where he is to the paparazzi, not by him or Haley, but by like someone. And she was saying that it could be Scooter Braun or someone like in his company or whatever, because they're trying to make him appear crazy. Because, and this is how I've always felt, the moment Justin Bieber drops Scooter Braun, something's wrong with Scooter Braun. Like, it's going to come out, because I think that Justin knows a lot about what like Scooter has done to people in the industry and stuff. This was like the whole lore. And I think it goes back to whenever Justin canceled the tour and he was put into all that debt, but he literally had that Riley Hunt syndrome or whatever it was, where he could not perform. And Scooter made him pay back all the debts that they had prepaid for the tour and production. So Justin had owed Scooter a lot of money. It's also allegedly why Hailey Bieber sold Rode. Because Scooter was an investor in Rode and they want no association with him. Obviously, she did it for the check. But at the end, it also was a perk to get Scooter out, which is why Justin Bieber sold his entire catalog. And so what Justin is talking about, like if you...
When he's like, who's paying you? I don't know who's paying you to be here.
And the girl that did the video grew up with him. Like they went to church together in Atlanta. Like she really cares about him and knows him personally. And so does her like group of people that they were working with. Like I could 100% see that being true. And I kind of feel like this is Justin like addressing it. And people think that he sounds paranoid and like crazy because he's a celebrity. Obviously like paparazzi are going to be there, but I think that he was addressing what she was talking about, because she had mentioned in her video that someone from Justin's team wanted her to speak out about it.
But what is Scooter's benefit of making him look crazy?
I think it's because he knows so much about Scooter's past and like his behind the scenes and how he is.
So if he does speak out about something, people will be like, oh, there's Justin Bieber who's crazy saying something.
And I think that Justin could really destroy Scooter Braun if he really spoke out.
He was Scooter's claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know?
And even like back to the Taylor Swift stuff, which we're going to get into, like Justin was the #1 like perpetrator of bullying Taylor Swift on Instagram with Scooter Braun. So,
and like how we're saying, like how previously we said Taylor to the Bluebird is the equivalent of Justin to Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
You know?
And Scooter Braun was like in charge of him. He was like a parent to him because his mom kind of just dropped him off in Atlanta with Usher. And then Scooter Braun was the only one who cared for him. But when Justin Bieber wasn't able to perform and make him money anymore, he got dropped.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, like, I haven't heard anybody connect all these dots the way that we have, and I think we've just been actively doing so much like Justin Bieber research. But I feel like we are the only yapping pop culture dumbass podcast that has cracked all of this and put all of it together, because I have not seen one person say
what if, because we talk about them every week.
I know, but I've just not heard one person say that, like, why did Justin Bieber just address what that girl talked about in that video? And I haven't seen anybody talk about that. But then he gets on Instagram and I'm like,
Then he gets on Instagram and I'm like, dang, I think something is going on. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business.
For real. And the thing that Justin out, but Justin posted it.
Who was he talking to in these? Do we know this?
We don't know, but I was imagining whenever I was doing these notes, I was like, we should do a dramatic reading of the text, and you be one person and I'll be the other person.
Okay.
So
do you want to be?
you can be Justin Bieber.
Okay.
These are literally posted on Justin Bieber's Instagram this week.
Like, he posted them himself. It wasn't even a story post. It got a feed post. Like, that is crazy. That's crazy work. So,
Okay.
Here is our dramatic reading. I'm going to say it the way that he was talking in this paparazzi video,
Okay.
I will never suppress my emotions for someone. Conflict is a part of relationship. If you don't like my anger, you don't like me. My anger is a response to pain I've been through. Asking a traumatized person not to be traumatized is simply mean.
I don't know who this is, so I'm just going to pick a random voice.
Okay.
I'm not used to someone lashing out at me. It's not that I don't see and feel your anger.
Ouch. This friendship is over. I will never accept a man calling my anger lashing out. I enjoyed our short-lived relationship. I wasn't kidding when I told you I didn't need you as a friend. I have good friends who will respect these boundaries. I thought you were which is why I always kept my distance, but I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. This confirms you were the I always thought you were. Please leave me alone now.
I'm
Blocking you now.
you know, these texts, I can't imagine what Hailey Bieber has been through.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Yeah, Justin Bieber's been through stuff. He's traumatized. But this is like emotional ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've been through things but it's like he's defending his excuse for lashing out at people. And that isn't fair either. You can't just
you can't just lash out and say, oh, it's because I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel bad critiquing Justin Bieber because I do really think he's probably been through a whole lot.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So it's like somebody who's probably endured sexual abuse and just like being used by people all his life and paparazzi and not having a normal life and not getting to be a normal person. It probably does traumatize you, and you don't develop the same as other people.
Yeah.
So I always feel bad like critiquing him for this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, he is a grown man, and it's like you grew up this way, but now it's time, like, we need therapy and we need to learn.
He can
how to fix
afford
it.
all the help in the world too, but it really seems like he's not in a place to accept help.
Yeah.
Because he's so assuring to everyone that he is okay, but this is not normal behavior at all. Justin also posted on his Instagram story the following. Justin, would you like to read?
Sure. People keep telling me to heal. Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues. I tried to do the work my whole life to be like the people who told me I needed to be fixed like them. And it just keeps making me more tired and angry. The harder I try to grow, the more focused on myself I am. Jesus is the only person who keeps me wanting to make my life about others. Because honestly, I'm exhausted with thinking about myself lately. Aren't you?
On business.
Oh, yeah. It's not clocking to you that he's standing on business.
Yeah. It's sad that, like, I feel like reading that, like, you can hear that he doesn't feel like he could be helped. And that's sad.
Yeah.
I know he, like, wants to stay in LA and try to be, like, a messenger. And I think he's trying to, like, give an example of someone by using himself, like, to show what the media and, like, what all of this will do to you. Because I do think, like, in the grand scheme of things, I think he is still kind of under Scooter Braun's thumb, because I'm sure he has some non-disclosure agreements and stuff that he just can't talk about stuff. And, like, I feel like he's trying to stay there to be an example to people of what can happen. But, like, I think it would be so good if he spent 6 months outside of LA in, like, a secluded area, not isolated or anything, but just go somewhere small where people aren't going to be constantly.
Like, go to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Go to a random
Go stay in a
state.
cabin somewhere and just hang out with your family. And I don't know, because the text messages and this are, like, given the same energy of, I've been traumatized, I've been hurt, I'm in pain, I'm in anger, I'm broken. So it's like, he knows all these things. It's like, until you're sober and can deal with it, though, it's just,
Yeah.
you're not going to find any peace.
I do also think that him staying in LA is to prove a point of you can't run me off. Like, he doesn't want to let these crazy paparazzi run him off from a place where that's not normal. He should be able to be here and not be followed and stuff. But it's like, at a certain point, it's like, at what cost, though?
Yeah.
Like, at what cost? Because your quality of life is really horrible. Your mental health is really horrible. And yeah, you should be able to live a normal life and not have these paparazzi following you all the time. But that's just not the reality, unfortunately. So what's our pivot point? What are we going to do about it, you know?
Yeah, and like, you think about seeing all of this, and this has really just been, he's really just been so manic on Instagram, like, maybe for the last 5 or 6 months. Think about the last few years of what Hailey Bieber has gone through.
He's probably been this manic for a little bit, just like kind of behind closed doors for a lot
Yeah,
of it.
and she was like dealing with that while becoming a new mom and all
and
of that.
postpartum.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's just, it's crazy to think. And that's probably like what everyone was talking about, because I would hear like on Dumois, she like had sources with the Biebers and everything. And she would be like, I'm not going to disclose anything, but everything that y'all are seeing has nothing to do with what y'all are talking about. And it was before Justin started like acting more publicly on like how he felt. So yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Justin still being under Scooter Braun's thumb, probably, Scooter Braun was trying to gaslight the internet.
Yeah. So he went on a podcast and spoke about the purchase of Big Machine and Taylor Swift's music and masters and all that stuff. And before we watch the clip, I want to do a little mini deep dive into everything that happened in 2019.
Okay. So we all know of the Taylor's versions of everything.
Yeah.
But the reason that this happened was because Taylor was leaving Big Machine Records. And that was because they gave her the option to purchase her masters under the condition that she would get one of her masters from her album per every new album she made for them.
And at this time, she'd only released 6 records. So, like, another 6 records was a lot.
Yeah.
This was before Taylor Swift was pumping something new out every year.
Yeah, it was a once every 2 years an album would drop kind of a thing. So that's like essentially with Big Machine 12 more years
Yeah.
to be locked into them just to own her masters. So she said, no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to walk away.
And she also was aware, because her dad was a shareholder, and she knew that there was a possibility that the company was going to be sold soon anyway, because her music was so valuable and like bringing up the value of the company. So she knew that Scott Borchetta was interested in selling the company altogether.
She did not know who he was thinking of selling it to.
Yeah, so she parted ways with Big Machine, knowing they would be sold, just like we said, didn't know when or to who. And she didn't want to be stuck with contracts with any like potential new owners, just not knowing what the dynamic would be. So in June of 2019, Ithaca Holdings, which is Scooter Braun's company, bought Big Machine, also purchasing Taylor Swift's music catalog. And Taylor Swift responded on Tumblr. She first, tying it right back to Justin Bieber, posted a photo of Justin Bieber on FaceTime with Scooter Braun and Kanye. And she said, "This is Scooter Braun bullying me on social media when I was at my lowest point, and he's about to own all the music I've ever made."
So, and we still don't know exactly the initial. We know now what the whole beef like with Taylor and Scooter is, like with the Taylor's version and what we're about to talk about. But the initial beef of like, why was she so upset that Scooter owned her company? Like, why didn't they like each other? We still don't fully understand or know that.
Yeah, well, this image alone was posted in 2016. Justin Bieber captioned it, "Taylor Swift, what up?" This was the same year that Kim Kardashian and Kanye West released the edited tape, and Kanye also put out the album, basically like stripping her naked. Yes.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. And this was posted during the height of all that. This was during like her lockdown era where she wasn't going out in public. Like this was her like cancellation is what she calls it. And there were also like speculation at this time that, you know, Reputation was received really, really poorly at the time. In hindsight, we know what a gem it is. But to non-stans, people thought it was stupid and cringe and whatever. And there's a lot of theories that Scooter Braun has so much control over the music industry that he was kind of like, is the word blackballing her, like, and just making these critics and people like not speak highly of her work, even though this is the next album after 1989 of all albums. But that was like always speculated.
I mean, basically just what she said, like bullying me.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of being mean to her.
Yeah.
And said she didn't want to work for somebody like that. And that's all speculation. There's no definitive, other than this bullying me comment that she made. There's no definitive, like, she hasn't ever spoken about it, and he hasn't ever said why she didn't like him. Like,
it's also, though, the Kanye stuff was so big and, like, major, and to have a selfie with Kanye West at all and reference Taylor Swift during this time.
Okay, this is all clicking better. I didn't know who these people were. I knew Scooter was there, and I knew Justin was there.
Yeah, Kanye West is also in the picture.
I didn't realize that that's this whole... I was here in 2016 when this happened. This whole time, I never noticed that that's Kanye West.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, that's why this has never clicked for me.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all are just on FaceTime, and he says, Taylor, what's up? I'd never understood.
Yeah.
It finally clicked. Okay.
It's a pretty dark image whenever you, like, think about everything that was happening and when it was posted. And not to mention, Justin Bieber, my theory on why he always had an issue with her was because of Selena. I always thought Taylor was like, Selena, you deserve better. Don't go back to him. So Taylor didn't like Justin and Selena together. And that's a known thing after that one back scene video came out. So, like, you've got all these people that, like, don't like Taylor Swift in this photo at the same time that her career is what she calls an all-time low. So she posted that, Justin Bieber's post. And she also put the following words on Tumblr. I feel like we should read it because if you were not there and you don't know what Taylor Swift said, like, hearing all this, whenever y'all hear what Scooter Braun says in 2025, it's so obvious that he's full of crap.
Yeah. She wrote, "For years I asked, pleaded for a chance to own my work. Instead, I was given an opportunity to sign back up to Big Machine Records and earn one album back at a time, one for every new one I turned in. I walked away because I knew once I signed that contract, Scott Borchetta would sell the label, thereby selling me and my future. I had to make the excruciating choice to leave behind my past, music I wrote on my bedroom floor, and videos I dreamed up and paid for from the money I earned playing in bars, then clubs, then arenas, then stadiums. Some fun facts about today's news. I learned about Scooter Braun's purchase of my masters as it was announced to the world. All I could think about was the incessant manipulative bullying I've received at his hands for years."
Oh, Scooter Braun also managed Kanye West.
Okay.
That's information that she didn't say it directly, but that's what she means by saying that he was a part of it.
Okay. Like when Kim Kardashian orchestrated an illegally recorded snippet of a phone call to be leaked, and then Scooter got his two clients together to bully me online about it. See photo. Or when his client Kanye West organized a revenge porn music video which strips my body naked. Now Scooter has stripped me of my life's work that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy. Essentially, my musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. This is my worst case scenario. This is what happens when you sign a deal at 15 to someone for whom the term loyalty is clearly just a contractual concept. And when that man says music has value, he means its value is beholden to men who had no part in creating it. When I left my masters in Scott's hand, I made peace with the fact that eventually he would sell them. Never in my worst nightmares did I imagine the buyer would be Scooter. Anytime Scott Borchetta has heard the word Scooter Braun escape my lips, it was when I was either crying or trying not to. He knew what he was doing. They both did. Controlling a woman who didn't want to be associated with them. In perpetuity, that means forever. Thankfully, I am now signed to a label that believes I should own anything I create. Thankfully, I left my past in Scott's hands and not my future, and hopefully young artists or kids with musical dreams will read this and learn about how to better protect themselves in a negotiation. You deserve to own the art you make. I will always be proud of my past work, but for a healthier option, Lover will be out August 23rd.
And then just cut to the Me video coming out. Yeah, I mean, that is heartbreaking. And as someone who knows Taylor Swift personally,
it all makes more sense now that it literally, like, that I don't know why it's taking this long. I've heard all of this about 10 times before, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's just now clicking to me.
That Kanye was in the photo.
That Kanye was in the photo, yeah, and that Scooter managed Kanye during when he did the I Made That Bitch Famous and like the music video and all that. It makes more sense to me why she was so upset with him. Okay.
And like Scott Borchetta probably knew that it would bother Taylor Swift. And it's honestly, it's business. Like, he's in the music industry. $300 million is $300 million. Like, at the end of the day, did he care about Taylor Swift's feelings? No, because he was done. He was selling out. He was over it. Didn't have to deal with it anymore. And he got $300 million, moved on.
Mm-hmm.
But he posted a photo with Scooter Braun cheersing. There's like a whole photo shoot. They've got like drinks in their hand. They're like shaking hands. And it's like taking a photo with the devil if you've come from Taylor Swift's universe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But just knowing Taylor Swift and like how she is like about owning her art, like I feel like this girl could have all the money in the world and her enemy own her music and none of that money matter.
Yeah.
So after Taylor Swift posted this on Tumblr, Justin Bieber responded with this image. He says, because Justin Bieber is just Scooter Braun's little like bitch boy at this point, you know? Hey, Taylor. First of all, I would like to apologize for posting that hurtful Instagram post. At the time, I thought it was funny, but looking back, it was distasteful and insensitive because he knows that those men did her wrong. Let's start there. Okay? I have to be honest, though. It was my caption and post that I screenshotted of Scooter and Kanye that said, Taylor Swift, what up? He didn't have anything to do with it, and it wasn't even a part of the conversation. In all actuality, he was the person who told me not to joke like that. Scooter has had your back since the days you graciously let me open up for you. As the years have passed, we haven't crossed paths and gotten to communicate our differences, hurts, or frustrations.
AKA Selena Gomez.
Exactly. So for you to take it to social media and get people to hate on Scooter isn't fair. What were you trying to accomplish by posting the blog? Seems to me like it was to get sympathy. You also knew that in posting that your fans would go and bully Scooter. Anyway, one thing I know is both Scooter and I love you. I feel like the only way to resolve conflict is through communication. So banter and back and forth online, I don't believe solves anything. I'm sure Scooter...
Yet he's contributing to it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure Scooter and I would love to talk to you and resolve any conflict, pain, or any feelings that you need to be addressed. Neither Scooter or I have any negative to say about you. We truly want the best for you. I usually don't rebuttal things like this. When you try and deface someone I love's character, that's crossing a line. Justin Bieber was in so deep with Scooter Braun.
I fear that Justin Bieber has always been a gaslighting king.
Yeah.
Always.
And it's like, why would Taylor Swift sit down with you, Justin Bieber? She doesn't owe you anything. She let you open up for her on her tour.
And at this time, he was kind of popular.
He was
right?
really
back
cool.
here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the time, it's not like you were bigger than her. She was bigger than you. Y'all were probably equals, you know? So it's just like he's acting like he's doing her these favors or something by being like, yeah, if you want, we could talk out our differences.
Yeah.
And it's like, she doesn't want to talk out her differences. She doesn't even have beef with you necessarily. It's Scooter. And you were making a bitch ass joke. So.
And Scooter and or Kanye created an environment to which Justin Bieber thought that joke was funny. Justin Bieber didn't just think this is funny on his own. That's something they obviously talked about in private and joked about. And you can just see that in the way that he posted it.
And he's like, what were you trying to accomplish by posting that blog? It's like,
she's just telling what happened to her.
Yeah, it seems like it was just to get sympathy. No, she was telling what happened to her.
And if the result is her fans like bullying Scooter Braun online, it's like, if what did
her
she
telling
say?
The truth makes people bully Scooter Braun, then he's just a bad man.
What does her say? If men
they
if they don't want me to write bad songs about them, they shouldn't do bad things.
Do bad things.
There you go. Quoted on the Ellen Show.
That's a good one.
So later on that year, Scooter was blocking Taylor Swift from performing her music at the 2019 AMAs. Famously, the one where Selena Gomez is messed up on something.
Yeah, and did not get to perform with Taylor.
No. But if you want to read what Taylor Swift wrote there.
It says, don't know what else to do. Guys, it's been announced recently that the American Music Awards will be honoring me with the Artist of the Decade award at this year's ceremony. I've been planning to perform a medley of my hits throughout the decade on the show. Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun have now said that I'm not allowed to perform my old songs on television because they claim that would be re-recording my music before I'm allowed to next year. Additionally, and this isn't the way I had planned on telling you this news, Netflix has created a documentary about my life for the past few years. Scott and Scooter have declined the use of my older music or performance footage for this project, even though there is no mention of either of them or Big Machine Records anywhere in the film.
Imagine how much better Miss Americana would have been with like the back catalog of music and her not creating me and only the young in the studio.
Yeah. And can you imagine that's the same thing. That's like the same thing as when we're trying to like figure out what we can put in YouTube to not get copyright, like when we're uploading a video. If we created a song and wanted to use our song in our video, we would get copyrighted for it.
Yeah.
That is essentially what she's doing on a much bigger scale.
And it's like, why? Okay, you already own all of her music. Why not let her perform it in a decade-long, because at this time it had only been like 10 years since she really started. Like, why would you want to deny someone a decade's worth of music whenever they're doing like an honorary award?
And also at this time, she didn't have any Taylor's versions like out, and that wasn't even like a thing that had started rolling out and happening yet, you know? So it's like, if anything, her going back and singing those on an award show would get more streams, and you own that now. So
yeah, like they just wanted to complicate her life.
Scott Borchetta told my team that they'll allow me to use my music only if I do these things. If I agree to not re-record copycat versions of my songs next year, which is something I'm both legally allowed to do and looking forward to. Love a petty queen.
Yeah.
And also told my team that I need to stop talking about him and Scooter Braun. I feel very strongly that sharing what is happening to me could change the awareness level for other artists and potentially help them avoid a similar fate. The message being sent to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished. This is wrong. Neither of these men had a hand in the writing of those songs. They did nothing to create the relationship I have with my fans. So this is where I'm asking for your help. Please let Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun know how you feel about this. Scooter also manages several artists who I really believe care about other artists and their work. Please ask them for help with this. I'm hoping that maybe they can talk some sense into the men who are exercising tyrannical control over someone who just wants to play the music she wrote. I'm especially asking for help from the Carlisle Group, who put up money for the sale of my music to these two men. I just want to be able to perform my own music. That's it. I've tried to work this out privately through my team, but have not been able to resolve anything. Right now, my performance at the AMAs, the Netflix documentary, and any other recorded events I am planning to play until November of 2020 are a question mark. I love you guys, and I thought you should know what's been going on. Taylor.
I mean, that's so gross.
Yeah. This was a wild time. Like, I remember this.
Yeah, and the other artists that Scooter had at this time were Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, and Kanye West. And those are just the big ones.
Yeah. Imagine getting involved, with Scooter. This stuff not happening yet with Taylor and him. And then Taylor makes this, and she's like, anybody else that's managed by him, help me. Like, you're in a weird position at that point. Demi Lovato and Ariana, and obviously Justin wasn't going to speak out against Scooter, but anybody else, it's like, that's like your manager. But also, even if you didn't think he was doing the right thing with her, it's like,
I think Ariana Grande did say something.
She just basically, she was kind of Switzerland in a sense that she like said that she empathized with Taylor, but she didn't necessarily speak badly or anything about Scooter either. She said words, but not much of anything.
Yeah. Okay. So that is all. Oh, and also like Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, and Justin Bieber all left Scooter Braun I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago now, but they all left him within the same 6-month period.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot. And he also, like, whenever he spoke out about it, he said that he was, like, leaning into retirement. And I think,
I'm sure you are after everybody quit on you.
yeah, I think everybody quit first, and then he
Went with it.
He was like, yeah, I guess I'll just retire now. I'll own Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So whatever.
And also, speaking of Ariana, like, saying something, Demi Lovato also made a post.
Oh, and she was not nice.
No, she...
Take it to Capitol Hill.
Yeah, of course. Because Demi Lovato's always had weird one-sided beef with Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift has never acknowledged it. But it continued when she basically made a post with Scooter talking about how he's a great manager and everything like that. So her and Justin Bieber were kind of on the same level during this. But yeah, now that we know all of this backstory, for those who didn't know and those who just needed a refresher, now we can go into Scooter Braun talking about when he bought Big Machine.
Yes.
Oh, of course. But I'm sure that goes both ways. Like, as much as I felt betrayed, like, music business can be heartbreaking. Management can be heartbreaking. If you watch David Geffen's documentary, he says management is like, move the mountain over here, and they say it was supposed to be there. You know, but at the same time, it must be heartbreaking the other way. It's such an interdependent relationship, and it's such, you know, people always say, stay on your side of the street. I try to do that. It's easier for me to move.
And I keep my side of the street clean.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what I mean.
My life and be happy by staying on my side of the street. So yeah, I've definitely felt betrayed 100 times. I've definitely felt misunderstood so many times. But I also try to give empathy of, if someone is doing this to me, they must be hurting for some reason. And maybe I did play a role in it, even if I don't know I did. You know, so do you feel betrayed? Yes, especially in a job of service.
Yeah.
The guy saying, yeah, like, it's like he knows in real time that he's being gaslit. Have you also seen have you also seen the other clip of him actually, like, talking about when he bought her?
I thought that was it. Let's play another one.
When I bought Big Machine, I thought I was going to work with all the artists on Big Machine. I thought it was going to be like an exciting thing. I knew that Taylor, she and I had only met 3 times, I think in my life, 3 or 4 times. And one of the times, it was years earlier, it was really a great engagement. She invited me to her private party, and we respected each other. We had a great engagement. In between that time, since I'd seen her last, I started managing Kanye West. I managed Justin Bieber. I knew she didn't get along with them. I had a feeling, this is where my arrogance came in. I had a feeling she probably didn't like me because I managed them, but I thought that once this announcement happened, she would talk to me, see who I am, and we would work together. And the announcement came out, and I'm calling Scott Borchetta and saying, hey, send me her number. I just talked to Thomas Rhett, and he's excited, and I just talked to, this person, and they're excited, and I'm calling, Florida Georgia line next, and I'm gonna get you. And then this Tumblr comes out and it says all this stuff, and I was just like shocked.
He's trying to make us feel bad for him that she didn't just say, oh, you own it now? Okay, I know that we had differences, but let's work together. Hee. And then he's saying that she didn't know him, and everybody who had something to say about him didn't know him, so they were making all these assumptions. And it's like, no, they're talking about your character based on her truth of what happened to her.
Yeah,
like,
and if
she might not know you, but that is what happened to her at your hands of your clients that you managed and knew about and contributed to.
And it's like, if nothing bad happened and you didn't do anything and there was never anything happening, why were you so concerned? Like, why did you try to pressure her into being able to perform her own music by having her sign an NDA to never speak about you again?
Yeah.
What did you do?
If you didn't do anything and you had nothing to hide, then why couldn't she talk about you?
She would rather re-record every album than she's ever made than not be able to share her story and what you did to her.
Yeah.
But you want us to believe that you are the victim, that you were judged.
He keeps his side of the street clean.
Yeah. And it's like, also in this interview, I'm not going to play any of the clips from it, but like, he was going into how, like, he was like depressed and whatever. And I swear, I don't even believe him. I feel like it was all just a sympathy card and he's just like a narcissistic like ass.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. He was just trying to make everybody feel bad for him. And I roll my eyes at this whole thing.
Yeah, same.
But it sucks that people who are not Swifties and were not there, or they're new Swifties and they weren't there, they might see this and be like, oh, like maybe it was all a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
No. Like, Scooter Braun, you deserve everything that has been happening to you. And
yeah.
May you never find a day of peace, as as Zach says.
Yeah. It's like, there are people that like may believe him and feel for him too, like hearing his story this way. But it's like, I'm telling you, Scooter Braun has so much to do with the way that Justin Bieber is right now. And I hope one day, I'm like on the edge of my seat. It might come out in 30 years, but I am sitting waiting for the expose on Scooter Braun documentary to drop.
Yes. Like the way that everybody did with Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
One day it's going to be like all the abuse everyone went under, like by being managed by Scooter Braun. I swear.
But he's so kind of a dark person. Like, I feel like every one of his clients, he makes them sign like all of these agreements that like they can never speak about whatever.
If we know that he was trying to get an NDA signed to not speak about him, like to
You have
Taylor.
something to hide.
Yeah, and if he did that to Taylor, you know he's doing that to his clients.
Yeah.
So, allegedly, don't come for us, Scooter Braun, because you like to sue people on YouTube. But I'll take a plaque. I'd put it in a plaque if
For
you
sure.
did, so.
Okay, so we wanted to share the backstory of Scooter Braun before we played and reacted to his interview, just because if you weren't there, you really don't understand how crazy it was. So I just want to give the history. There's one more piece of Taylor Swift news that I'm going to jump down to before we move on. This is going to get ugly.
So what did we say? Because we talked about the text messages like a few weeks ago, and we said something, because I remember that I was like, oh, so it's not the personal, like, juicy text.
They were trying to get the text messages between the two law firms. But so now, in the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case, Judge Lehman has ruled that it's basically fair game for Baldoni's team to look at the text messages between Blake and Taylor.
Oh, so it is the personal text.
Yes, it is now, but only the text messages that are relevant to the trial, and it ends with us production. So I'm sure there are going to be some things in there, like we'll see. But
Taylor is shitting her pants, and she is probably like fuming inside.
Well, here was a theory that I heard today. So, Candace Owens alleges that Scott Swift is the source that went to Justin Baldoni's lawyer, that they had evidence that Blake had asked Taylor Swift to delete text messages. And obviously, the text messages that she would have wanted her to have deleted are these text messages specifically, because the other stuff is personal. Like, it's not really going to be relevant to the case. I imagine they're still going to try to keep these texts private. We'll see what happens. However, my thought is, if Taylor is smart and she told her dad, Blake is trying to have me delete these texts because there could be a lawsuit coming, I would imagine that Taylor Swift didn't delete them, that she's smarter than that and went to her lawyer immediately and communicated what's going on and let them know, just to stay ahead of the curve, because they have this empire they're trying to protect.
It doesn't matter. Even if she did delete them, or, the filming of the movie has been like over a year ago now. Like, I even have the setting on my phone to where texts delete after a year, Yeah. So it's like, even if they are deleted from her phone, they're going to go through the phone records. They're not going to go through her phone. So it didn't even really matter if she deleted them or not.
Right. So the defamation aspect of the case has been dropped. That's what we talked about the last time that we talked about it. But Blake has shot herself in the foot with this, because the reason these texts are getting involved is, I summarized, I was listening to a few videos to try to understand exactly what was happening. The judge over the case, which is Judge Lehman, ruled that because Blake Lively has claimed that her and Taylor Swift, she referenced her conversations with Taylor Swift as evidence to say, I confided in my friends about the work environment, mistreatment, things like that were happening. He ruled that because Blake Lively has claimed that her and Taylor Swift had discussion over the work environment during the time it was happening, the text messages between them related to the case, related to the movie are fair game. So,
Okay.
Blake really shot herself in the foot with this.
She's the one who basically made this all even be relevant.
Yeah, Blake did all this. And it's like the irony of her like using Taylor Swift, even just her text to Justin Baldoni that like she has dragons, and then like her use of claiming to have a dragon is gonna like kind of destroy her in this.
And her, like, if I was Taylor, like, I'm sure that she would be shitting, because imagine like Blake texting about the work environment when they're shooting It Ends With Us, and they're like, and she's like, yeah, he made me really uncomfortable, and like he did this and that, whatever. And imagine Taylor thinking that everybody's gonna know about what she said back, because think of if Taylor's ever been like made uncomfortable by someone on set, and she like said their name, and she's like, yeah, I felt that way when so and so did that to me on this set, or whatever. And it's like, now that has to be out there.
Yeah.
Just like stuff like that if I was Taylor, I'd be shitting, because you just say stuff like that in confidence to your friends over text, like empathizing with them, you know? So it's crazy. If we get to actually see these texts, and it's not just for a judge and like court and lawyers to see, I'm curious what's going to be in there.
Yeah, and I don't know what the laws are like about keeping certain pieces of the evidence like private or
I'm
whatever.
sure if the example that I said happened, they would redact the names that Taylor mentioned or whatever. But yeah.
The exact quote from the judge says, given that Lively has represented that Swift had knowledge of complaints or discussions about the working environment on the film, among other issues, the requests for messages with Swift regarding the film and this action are reasonably tailored to discover information that would prove or disprove Lively's harassment and retaliation claims.
So it's probably about to get messy now.
Yeah.
I was thinking that this might all die down and end, and like they might just sweep it under the rug. But this is like, oh, it's about to go down. We're about to get messy.
And after we talked about it last, Justin Baldoni had dropped some of his charges or whatever a couple of weeks ago. Blake came out and made this statement like publicly that like they were seeing this dismissal as a win because it was like there was no evidence to back up some of his claims. But they were really just trying to spin the fact that Blake dropped her charges and his charges were in response to her charges. But she's not talking about that.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. That's the like dumb down version of all of this. And then we have one more story today. It's about Doja Cat and the Musty shirt. Are you familiar with this story?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so this TikTok is what started it all. So let's watch.
I'm about to give my shirt to Doja Cat because she's the iconic girl.
Period!
No, bitch, you deserve it. Literally, and if you ever want anything more, I got you, always. This is the girl right here. I love this out. Thank you so much.
Happy Pride Month.
Pablo.
Nice to meet you.
Wait, what's your real name? Or is it Doja? Is your real name?
Ami.
Ami, so nice to meet you, girl.
Nice
You're
to meet
beautiful.
you,
I hope you have the best
sweetheart.
night. You're literally everything in life. Thank you.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Period.
My girl, Ami. Love you down. Don't say thank you.
You smell great.
Okay, so I don't know anything about this, right?
Okay.
So from what I saw.
Wait, also, have you watched Trisha's podcast on this?
No.
Okay.
So can I just give like my reaction to this right here? Okay. From what I saw, I think it's a fan encounter with Doja Cat, and he seems like he might be a little drunk or something. And I think he met her, and I think he was really vibing, feeling the energy, giving the shirt and whatever. And I think she was trying to be nice. And I think that she was acting like it was a fun time, and that was it. But they're gonna walk away, and she's just gonna be like, okay. And it's one of those things where you like throw it in the trash or whatever,
Right.
you know?
Well, she tweets a week later, and she says, I threw that musty ass shirt away, by the way.
Oh, okay. I really didn't read that tweet.
Well, she tweets this. She gets backlash because, she's notoriously mean to her fans online. She says, bottom line is, I'll smile at you. That doesn't mean I fuck with you. And don't touch me and manhandle me when you don't even fucking know me. If you know, you know. I honestly think I need to stand up for myself in the moment sometimes. And he didn't even know my fucking name to be touching me and kissing on my face like that is crazy.
Okay, so in a way I can understand. Like, maybe don't kiss her. Because he did, you know.
But I felt like as much as his hands were on her, she was touching him back.
And also, she's acting all like buddy, like BFF with him too.
She was like picking her leg up to put her leg up on him while she was hugging him.
Like, from what I saw, I thought that she was, you know, like, obviously he's starstruck by her, so he's more into it than she is, and I could tell that in the video, but never did I feel like she was actually like uncomfortable or like, get this man away from me. I felt she was like trying to be nice to a fan and be like, hee, I love you too, you know?
Yeah. I also am like, you're Doja Cat, you're pretty famous. If you don't want people touching you, you need to have a bodyguard. You have the money, you have the funds. Not that it, you know, it would protect you from being like violated by someone, but Trisha's podcast, they really took the take that he like groped her and like really stepped out of line. But I feel like the touching seemed to be mildly reciprocated in the moment. If she didn't want to hug, like, to me, she didn't look as like that uncomfortable, and it can be an internal feeling or whatever, but it's like she wasn't giving the energy of don't touch me, leave me alone.
Yeah, like, I feel like, you know, if we're ever at a bar, like, we don't like to be touched, right? So like, if somebody comes up and talks and is trying to, seems like they have in mind that they're gonna try and be any type of way towards one of us, we'd just be like, yeah, like, kind of giving short answers, kind of not, we wouldn't be like, yeah, and like, you're kind of making it known that you're okay with that if you're touchy-feely with them as well, you know? Like, and you can use body language to block yourself off and stuff.
Yeah, it's also, the backstory to this is that the guy makes shirts. He has an online brand, and that was one of his shirts that he made, and she said that she liked it, so he gave it to her. And then for Doja Cat to go online and be like, I threw that musty-ass shirt away, by the way. Okay, if he made you feel uncomfortable, let's say that. Don't be rude without explaining yourself, because
the I threw the musty ass shirt away is giving Chapel wrong.
Yeah, it's rude, like, in my opinion. Well, the fan has responded.
Okay, let's see.
I got informed that Doja said some shit about me on Twitter. I just want to clear this up because it hurts, because I loved her. I watched her at Coachella. I've never claimed to be the biggest fan, but I really stand her, and I think what her work is amazing. I just think it's crazy because she's the one at this event that was being so nice, and she pointed out my shirt, and I said, and I like that. And then when I went outside and she was outside, I was like, girl, you'd be the perfect girl for my Pride collection. And she said, what do you mean, what Pride collection? I said, oh, I released this t-shirt, blah, 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 I'd love to give you one. She said, I'd want one right now. And I said, oh, I could give this one to you. She said, no way, you're not going to give this to me. And that's when the video started, and she was being so sweet and amazing, and I thought that's what it was. And now, guys, she's on Twitter saying she threw that musty shirt away. She's saying that I didn't know her name, that I manhandled her, all this stuff. I understand, guys, if I was being like too nice or whatever, I will take full accountability. I'm gay. I would never want to make her feel uncomfortable. She's so iconic. I have only been saying the nicest things about her. She's the sweetest celebrity. She made me feel so seen. She said, Ami, I thought she was nice. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is for publicity or for whatever, guys, but I would have never wanted to make her uncomfortable. I would have never even filmed if she didn't say yes. Guys, that video that we filmed was after everything, and I don't want to be that guy that comes on emotional or whatever, but I feel like I'm always the butt of the joke. Like, why am I the punching bag, bro? Like, literally, like, nothing happened other than her liking my shirt. I offered it to give it to her. She doesn't have to keep it, she doesn't have to do whatever, but she was obviously down, like, and I understand she has to set her boundaries. She's a celebrity, I'm not. I will never understand that, so I value that and I appreciate it and I get that. But for me, guys, I'm a normal-ass person that's at a bar, meets Doja Cat. I just released my clothing drop for Pride, and I just offered to give her one, and she said, oh, I want one right now. So I had the size. I was like, here, take it. I apologize if I did anything wrong at all. But guys, I'm a human being too. And honestly, this just shows me, I guess, that maybe not everybody's who they show in person. I would have never said anything other than she's the sweetest girl ever, but I guess she went on a whole tweet rant about me. I never claimed to have it all laid out, to know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just at a bar, released a clothing drop. Doja was being very sweet to me. And also, guys, I know I didn't know her first name. I'm so sorry. I never claimed to be the biggest fan ever. I just respect her a lot for her work. I've listened to her music so many times. I met her 4.5 years ago at the VMAs, and I was like gagged. And I thought 4.5 years later, the world worked for me. Like the stars lined in my favor. But
yeah, it's honestly that's sad. Like it's giving punching down. Like
Yeah.
she's punching down just to be rude.
And she's so mean to her fans online.
Is she like chaperone?
No, she's like worse.
Oh.
She's like, I don't love you. I don't fucking know you. And it's like, your fans saying they love you doesn't mean they're in love with you, you dumbass.
Yeah, it just means that they support you.
I also have been to her concert. Y'all know how I feel. It was satanic, I swear. I did not get good vibes from the whole scenario. I wanted to get out of that building. I just like, it also is given like, and I don't want to, diagnose anyone, but like oh, I love your shirt.
Yeah.
I can have that. Oh, yay, I love you. Like that. And then 1 week later, going on a rant of how someone manhandled you. There's nothing wrong if she would have been like, he made me really uncomfortable. Like, I did throw that shirt away. I didn't like to be touched like that. Like, I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I kind of just had to be nice in the moment. It's a totally different thing to come out and say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But to say, I threw that musty ass shirt away, by the way.
Yeah, by
it's
the way, I don't with you just because, like, why do we have to do that? I don't understand. It's like the chaperone effect, I feel, where these celebrities are feeling entitled to literally be assholes to the people who support them and give them their whole paycheck and their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. If you don't want to be paparazzi like Justin Bieber,
yeah,
it's not clocking to you that he's standing on business.
Yes.
But like your fans are people that support you and they fund your whole entire life and you wouldn't be who you are without them. So when they're being nice to you, you shouldn't be an asshole.
Yeah.
They just make me so annoyed when they do that kind of stuff.
And Doja Cat specifically, I mean, she's way worse than Chaperone.
I can't even imagine. I am not deep into the world of Doja Cat, so I can't imagine someone hating their fans more than Chaperone.
Yeah. Oh, she hates them.
Oh.
She hates them a lot.
Dang.
But that's all of our stories for this week.
Okay. What's up with you?
Not much.
Literally me neither.
I took a nap for about 40 minutes today, and it honestly reset my brain a little bit.
Okay.
I've just been real stressed out.
Yeah.
So I don't got much to say.
Happens to the best of us.
Yep.
I just live on stress and coffee and caffeine.
I'm living at the fact that we now know that we're going to Nashville together.
Hey.
And we get to go to the Bluebird Cafe and see where the swiftologist made history.
Yeah,
like,
not where Taylor Swift made history.
Yeah. It's like, it's just iconic that swiftologist broke some like history grounds with in the Bluebird Cafe. It's like
and it's like he's our friend, you know.
Yeah.
Like our friend started big drama revolving around Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
So, and also we'll get to go to the Taylor Swift Museum.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
They're doing they have like her Eras Tour outfits like displayed at the Country Music Hall of Fame, which is super exciting. But honestly, back to the Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift thing, I don't think those headlines are even close to being done. I think it's going to get bigger.
So do I.
Like,
I think it's just starting right now.
It's not very big right now. I kind of hope Zach addresses it super publicly and tells what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I also am the stands are probably just now getting a hold of it. And that video came out like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited
because a lot of the Taylor Swift fans are not Swiftologist fans.
No.
So they didn't see it from the source. So it's gonna have to trickle down and get to them for it to become a big thing.
Yeah.
And it will. I'm sure of it. And I'm excited to see it all unravel.
I'm excited to sit down again and go over it next time.
But yeah, remember, if you don't want to get angry text messages from Justin Bieber, then make sure to click the subscribe button.
Yep, we upload new episodes every Monday, and you could rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It actually changes our life.
It does, and it's not clocking to you that we're standing on business right now, so you need to go do that.
Yep, and we'll see you next Monday.
TTYL.
Bye.